Hey, what's up, MLB fans? This is Mark Spencer back once again for MLB Trade Rumors, the blockbuster deal that happened yesterday. I had to change up my video a bit because I had no sound the last broadcast I just did, so I'm doing a rebroadcast for this day of November 21st, 2013. This is the anniversary week of the death of John F. Kennedy. He died in 1963, 50 years ago tomorrow, at exactly 12:34 Pacific time in Dallas, Texas. It was a tragic day for American people. It was, a lot of stuff I learned in school, and even when I was in high school, I took another look into the assassination. I took a look at the Zabruta film. There was a program I got from the library one time, and it showed you how they did a computerized image on how the shots came through the window of the school book depository. And when I looked at those those pictures and on the computerized thing, there's no way Oswald could have done it himself. I mean, Oswald was what he said he was. He was a patsy. And recent information that I've learned from, some of these documentaries I've watched and some of the books I've read, there's just no way he could have done it himself. I can tell you now that the Kennedy assassination is an unsolved mystery, and maybe one day we will solve it. Just like Robert F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, the deaths of Bob Marley, the deaths of Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee. It is an unsolved mystery, and it may always stay an unsolved mystery. But I think in all our hearts, maybe one day we will solve these mysteries. That's what life's all about, mysteries, right? Maybe one day, it's coming. Maybe one day in the future, the mystery will just solve. Everyone will come out of the blue and say, "Hey, this is what happened. I'll explain to you how it happened, and explain to you why it should never happen again." But hey, they always say never happen again, and boom, it happens again. It always happens, over and over and over again. That's why we gotta put an end to all of these people that control too much. They control too much. The media, they control the oil, they control wars, they control too much control. You know what I mean? They're becoming like Batmans or Bruce Waynes or Superman, where they have total control over everything, and nobody else has a say. They just wipe you out, they shut you down, they get rid of you. That's control. So just like the JFK, it's real. These people are real. These are the type of people John F. Kennedy was dealing with in the Bay of Pigs during that time where it was intense, where they could have had nuclear war. It was really, really bad. Just look at Martin Luther King. He had to deal against these people. A lot of people over the years really criticized Lyndon Baines Johnson, but without Lyndon Baines Johnson, a lot of the things in America probably would never change. Civil rights movement, all that stuff. It wouldn't be good today. He saved a lot of people. He might have done a lot of bad, but he did some of them good too. LBJ. But that was one guy that had something probably to do with JFK's death. LBJ. Who benefited? He did. His brother did. A lot of oil people benefited when JFK was eliminated. Because what JFK was doing, he was taxing them at a ridiculous rate. I saw in one video, it was one of the videos, even the JFK movie that from Oliver Stone, but I saw one video that had JFK wanted for treason. When I saw that, I was like, what? No way. It was amazing. So, you look at JFK, he had a lot of enemies. He had a lot of people that he made mad and he fired. And, his brother had even more enemies. You look at the Teamsters, Jimmy Hoffa. If there was one guy that had every motive to eliminate them all, it was Jimmy Hoffa. Jimmy Hoffa just hated Kennedys. Jimmy Hoffa, he just didn't like them. What they were doing to him. They were going to get tough on unions. They were going to just bring them all down. And that's what Jimmy Hoffa did. He represented the unions. The Teamsters, I guess some mob connections to it, but I don't know. It's up in the air. But, Jimmy Hoffa out of all the people in the world at that time in 1963, if there was one person that would have got rid of those guys, I would say Jimmy Hoffa. Over history, they never really talked about Jimmy Hoffa, but I'd throw Jimmy Hoffa in there too, because Jimmy Hoffa just didn't like the Kennedys. Period. He didn't like them, and we'll leave that for history to investigate. Because Kennedy did have a lot of enemies, and I think Hoffa was his biggest enemy. I mean, even LBJ a little bit, because they were at odds. Uh, Kennedy used to embarrass him at certain functions and dinners and stuff, and it is what it is, right? I don't know what the truth is. It could be true, could not be true, but. JFK did have enemies at that time, but he did make a difference. You look at the space program in America, he made that happen. He had a goal, and them and the Russians, they tried to, do a space program type thing to go to the moon, and that's what they did. They went to the moon in 1969. So, I mean, they did a lot of things that has changed America over the last, 30, 40 years. So JFK left a good legacy. And another thing I read in JFK's biography is he had back problems. He had severe back problems. He was taking some serious medication. I mean, things like heroin, methadone. He was taking all these type of drugs. Marijuana. He was smoking it in the White House. I found out and through the biography. All these things because he was in pain every day. He was in pain. He always had back problems and stuff. So. JFK might have said stuff he probably didn't mean, but he spoke with his heart. He's an Irishman. He's a Catholic, so he spoke with passion. He spoke with heart. All the brothers, every one of them. And the kids too, even his grandkids and the nephews and nieces. I've seen of the Kennedys, from Caroline to Joe Kennedy to. All of them, Patrick Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., John F. Kennedy Jr., the late John F. Kennedy Jr. They spoke with passion, Even though John F. Kennedy Jr. was really, really shy, but they all spoke with passion. They spoke with heart. They loved their country. They loved the people in America. They think they could do better, but hey, that's what it is. They're not going to get better. It takes time, America, they need to work together as a team. And they need to work together as a family. The United States was founded in 1776, and from that day now to 2013, it hasn't got much better. You know what I mean? Even under Lincoln, under all these other presidents they've had. They've had previous presidents beyond George Washington, from other research I've found out. And they look like me. So I don't know, maybe it's a myth, but they've had lots of presidents throughout their history in the United States of America. And I think the one thing the American people must understand is you have to realize what your freedom is all about. Freedom means something. To go to the store and buy something, that's real. A cash transaction, that's real. That's freedom. To say what's on your mind, free speech. They don't want you to have free speech. I've seen Obama trying to put some new laws in where you have no free speech. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? No free speech? You serious? No way. Like, come on, man. The land of the free? No free speech in America? I mean, that's unbelievable. That's amazing. They don't even do that in China. You can't have free speech. That's not good. I've seen some of those things he's trying to do. And that's bad. That's why this government just got out of touch with reality. That's why I don't know. I really don't know. That's why the American people are really mad right now. You hear things from the Tea Party. You hear all these others like Oprah Winfrey saying a bunch of stuff. Oh, America's all racist and all that. Americans aren't racist. White Americans, Italian Americans, Mexicans, and what does it matter what you are? The most important thing in America is you all are Americans. You must all work together. You must overcome your differences. You must meet at the center of the table. Over the years I've been listening to Drake, and I've been listening to Bob Chapman over the years, and Alex Jones, and countless others, Peter Schiff, You know, Larry Kudlow, Larry King. I mean, these guys have awesome ideas. The biggest idea I have that could change America for the better, you know, on this day, November 21st, 2013, is you got to work together as a team. Put all your differences on the table, like a town meeting, and see what you can work from. That's what Obama needs to do. Everyone in the administration, this is an idea. Let's get a town meeting. Let's come together, both the Republicans, the Democrats, Independents, whoever, and the voters that put these people in power. Let's come to the table. Let's work out our differences. That's the key. Let's work out our differences. That's the only way. I'm telling you, it's not going to get better if you're always apart. And that's where I see Washington right now. They're so far apart, more than ever before. I mean, they're voting all these little legislation, these little bills they're putting in. It's not going to help the country. You know, you're facing bankruptcy. You know, bankruptcy is never good. You know, that's what they're trying to do. You know, right now, the U.S. dollar is falling. You know, you just don't see it right now, but it's starting to fall. You know, and if these politicians can't get their act together, it will fall for good. You know, and it will take years. And I'm talking 55 years for it to get back to where it once used to be. You know, America needs to get back to what it used to be. It used to be a shining star in the world. It used to be something that everybody looked to for leadership, looked to for, you know, courage, you know, looked to for being the best you can be. You know, as America, I can remember, you know. I mean, I'm only 31, but I've read a lot of history in American history over the last 20 years of my life. When I was in high school and in college, I read into some of the American history, you know, how the struggles they had, the Native Americans, the settlers, and all these others, you know, that they always found a way to work out the problems. You know, I've been hearing that the Iraqi dinar is going to be revalued and the RV will happen soon. We'll see what happens. Even if that does happen, if you do have the dinar, do something wise with it. Put in a good investment. The best investment, I think, that the people that do get the dinar, you know, bring back business. Bring back, you know, businesses like, you know, manufacturing. Make clothes, make TVs, make shoes in America. Make in America, made in America. You know, when you go to the stores, you see things made in China, made in India, made in Thailand, made in Philippines. You know, you got to start making stuff in America once again. You know, even in Canada, we have some stuff made in Canada. We need to see some stuff made in America once again, like televisions. You know, I looked in some history over the years in the 1950s and 60s. They were making lots of stuff. They had lots of unions, and they were making stuff in America. And Americans were buying their local goods. You know, after World War II, you know, they were making lots of stuff, you know, for military grade stuff. But, you know, the only thing America makes right now is guns and bullets and all this other stuff. They need to get back to the basics. Make TVs, make shoes, make t-shirts. You know, see what I'm wearing here? A t-shirt, a jacket. Make stuff like that. Make it in America again, you know? Make those plants again in Detroit. Get them up and running. I've seen some really disastrous places in Detroit that could be fixed up. And I was just watching CNBC this morning, and I was watching one of the big-time investors in the world. And I think this guy, if he could invest some of his money into Detroit and some manufacturing places there that can make buildings, you know, the old warehouse buildings, and turn those places into manufacturing bases and get people working again, boy, the American economy would be just flying. He would save the country. You know, that's what I thought Obama would do. Obama can still do it. I still believe in the guy. He could still save America. He can get them working again. Those are the type of things that needs to happen. They need to wake up, man. They need to get their act together. They need to become the United States they once used to be. The United States is not the United States of 40 years ago. You know, they're not the engine of the world they once used to be. You know, they really deferred a lot of that to like China and Russia and Brazil. in Europe, especially in Europe, like Germany, they're really becoming what America used to be. They used to be able to make stuff, be able to sell stuff. They used to be transparent. Lots of ideas and getting their ideas across and making things happen. That's what America has lost. They've become a country where they don't want to work. They don't want to. Just want to make all the bonuses, and don't even want to pay tax. It's not just about taxes, but they just want to make all the money and never have to hire anybody, fire everybody, lay people off like crazy because we're not making a profit. It's all about profits. It's all about creating jobs and helping out their communities out. The people on the streets, people lost their homes, living in tents and living under bridges and stuff. It's not right. We got to fix that. That's why I say with manufacturing, that needs to come back. Slowly they're starting to see some manufacturing in the car business and stuff. They're slowly coming back. But I'm telling you, manufacturing clothes, TVs, shoes, and stuff like that, they got to start making that stuff in the United States of America. The USA represents something to the world. It's something I will always understand is what makes them the best in the business is their leadership and the love of their country, and just that's all I ask. And that's all I ask of the business community in America. They got to create some jobs. They got to get back to the manufacturing base. That's the key. The rest of the way, from now to 2017, whenever, bring back the manufacturing base in Detroit, Ohio, California, throughout the United States, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, basically Pittsburgh, wherever, New York, Chicago, make things again. That's the key. If America's ever going to come back, if real estate's going to come back, it is the manufacturing machine. That's the only way. Because that's what China's killing you. You got to make things again so you don't have to buy all your stuff from China. Walmart and those other big companies like Target and all those companies, they buy all their stuff from China. Even my company, where I work for. It's the same thing. They got to get back to making things once again. And then America will be back in business. They're one of our larger trading partners in the world. But I think those days might come to an end soon. Because there might be new changes coming. But we'll see what happens. But I think with America, they got to make things again. The business community to come together, meet in the center of a table, have a bunch of ideas and what they can do to get some of these old businesses going, called manufacturing, making things again. Not too expensive, just average price, and get people working again. That is the key. And you can put it even in the schools. Learn how to make things. That's one thing that will help your community. It won't cost that much money. They're losing money daily. The federal government in America. They already had a situation where the country was going to default. You can prevent that by bringing back the manufacturing base. You bring that back, you're unstoppable. You're back to where you once used to be. It won't take 50 years, maybe take 15 years. So that's what America needs. They need to bring back that manufacturing base. And that's all I gotta say about that. This was supposed to be a baseball one. This one turned out to be one about JFK and the world. So we'll just call this one This Week in the World of News, Information, and Ideas to fix the problems that we're dealing with on a daily basis. Thanks for watching, folks. This is Mark Spencer signing out. We'll see you in the future. Bye-bye.